25 years of off-road racing dominance. Proprietary patented race technology. Proudly made in the USA. Unparalleled customer service and support. The choice of champions. King Shocks. The leader in off-road shock technology.
Mark, why does the Growers Company buy Ford? Is there any particular reason for that?
Yes, we do, because we depend on a good product, and Ford has been good to us in the past. We put a lot of miles on our vehicles, and they hold up for us, Joe.
And it was a long time ago, Mark, but you're still buying Ford trucks from Alexander Ford.
We sure do, and we get the same great service even today at Alexander Ford.
Alexander Ford. We were here for you then, here for you now, and long into the future. A difference you can count on.
Wheels for those who don't stall, sputter, or split the difference. Proven to get you where you need to be and take you where you never thought you'd go. Your path is fierce and turbulent, but you are made for this journey. KMC is made for this journey.
All right, welcome back, guys. We are here once again. It is 5 o'clock here on the Fishgistics channel, and we are back with your next Baja 500 live update. All these updates brought to you guys today by F&L Racing Fuel and 4-Wheel Parts, KMC Wheels, all of our sponsors. Big thanks to all those guys. Polaris, Razor, over here, I guess. Down here, Rigid. It's reversed and mirrored, so you got to get used to which way it is, and I still mess it up all the time. Whatever. They're here. So big thanks to all them for supporting us. Big thanks to all you guys for tuning in, and it looks like we have the first bike has just gotten to the finish. It's going to be the 5X, or it was there almost there a second ago. So they are they're at the finish, and we do have some sad news for Bryce Menzies fans. Bryce Menzies is out of the race. They had fuel pickup issues like we were talking about. They weren't able to go over 75 miles an hour. Kept getting worse and worse and worse. They stopped in the pits. Tried to get it fixed. They weren't going to be able to fix it, so Bryce Menzies has called it a race, I'm told, by their team, and they are out of the race. Same with Cameron Steele. The 16, they lost the water pump, so you can't go on without a water pump. Motor lost. I don't know if they lost the motor, but they lost the water pump, which led to the motor not being able to be ran very long without it overheating, obviously. So they are out of the race also. So bummer for Bryce, bummer for Cameron and Bobby Pecoy, but they are both out of the race. Robbie Gordon is out of the race, broken trailing arm. Who else? I'm trying to think. I think that's it for the big guys that I've heard of. Everyone else is still in the race. It is really close up front. Let's go look at exactly what I'm talking about. We got to scroll up here, scroll up a little ways. All right, so it's a McMillan battle of the cousins up here in the front. We have Luke McMillan in his brand new 1-week-old Mason all-wheel drive, currently leading out front. Right behind him, literally right behind him, less than a mile behind him, we have Andy McMillan in his Mason all-wheel drive that he's had for a couple years now. The two of them have literally checked out. I mean, look at this. There is nobody back here all the way until the 73 and the 43. So the 73 is a 2-wheel drive Herbst truck. The 43 is an old, I think it's an ID Designs truck that Larry Rossler is driving. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but he's in. So we have John Lennon in the 73 running third. That was Pat Dean in there, or not, sorry, wrong truck. Pat Dean was in the other Herbst truck. In this truck, it's Ryan Millen driving. He's been in there since mile 70, and he's going all the way to the finish. So we have Ryan Millen driving the 73, and then it should be Larry Rossler in here. I don't know if anybody was going to drive with him or if he was going to stay in the truck the whole way. But, and there it is, an ID truck. That's what I thought. So that is Larry Rossler in the Baja Jerky truck running fourth. Behind both of them, we have Tavo Vadostela. We just posted a little video on our story. He got a little wild in one turn and spun it out, but no big deal. He spun it back around and then kept going. So we got some action going on. But yeah, the story right at this moment is going to be is going to be the 1 and the 31. They are they've checked out. The one, Luke McMillan and Andy McMillan, his cousin, right behind him. That is the battle to watch from here on in. They have just about 100 miles, a little over 100 miles to go. They're at mile 350. They have 115 miles to the finish, as you can see, and then they will be in. So let's go back down and see who else. Behind Tavo and them, so right here, Bryce Menzies, he's on the highway. He's done, though. He's out. Rob McCaffrey is still in the race. He's going. Cameron Steele on the highway right here. He is out of the race. Behind them, we have Chris Miller in his spec truck, racing in trophy truck because his trophy truck had a problem at the last minute. They weren't able to get it fixed. And then Dan McMillan, who started pretty far in the back due to DNFing at San Felipe, is coming along. And then it's another gap. The attrition's really taking a toll here. We got a lot of big gaps coming up. You can see, look, the leading spec truck is almost caught up to these back trophy trucks. It already passed some of them, actually. 19, Tim Herps, Jonathan Brenthal, 37L. That's going to be your lead Legends truck right there, the 37L. They are winning their class. That is the trophy truck Legend entry, and they are leading their class. Then right behind them, look at this. We have the lead spec truck. So the first spec truck is now Ryan Hancock's been them most of the day. The Alexander Ford truck, they are them, and Brock Heger is in there. He was in there now. I think Ryan's probably in there by now. Brock drove earlier. So the 228. Then back behind them, here's your first one car, Brock Dickerson. This is a really good battle going on in the one car class between Brock Dickerson and Brad Wilson right here. See, Brad Wilson is at 0 miles an hour. That might be a pit right there. Most likely a pit because it's when you come down and you jump on the highway. So I'm going to guess that is, I'm going to call it a pit for sure. And then Justin Davis is going to be your second place spec truck class right behind him. So we have Justin Davis and Ryan Hancock right here. That's 1 and 2. And then we have 1 and 2 right here in class 1. So right in that little picture right there, we have 2 1 and 2s for 2 different classes. So that's cool. Pierce Herps is in 3rd, followed by Brian Wilson, Brad's other entry, the other Wilson entry. We have Raul Gomez, the Gomez brothers. They're having a pretty good day so far, clean run. And then Jason McNeil. He's been going between 2nd and 3rd in the spec truck class. It looks like he has fallen back. We just saw Justin Davis was able to get around McNeil. So then McNeil is there. Then it comes back to the 52, the 13L. That's going to be 2nd place. And then Justin Matney. Justin Matney is at the spot where he was supposed to get out, and Josh Daniel was supposed to get in with Billy Baruti, but it looks like they've been stopped there for a little while. So I don't know if they're just fixing something on the truck, or I haven't heard that they were done. They haven't told me that they were out of the race. So I think they're probably just working on something, and then Josh Daniel is going to jump in there and take it over from there. So that's a look at what's going on up front there. Someone says, I think Brad is about to jump in. Well, there you go. Yeah, if Brad was getting in his truck, he's probably, or in his truck, in his car, he probably just got in it. You can see he's moving again. So they are they're out of the pit. So the Wilson 1 car just behind Brock Dickerson now, and somebody thinks that Brad Wilson is in there. You're probably right. So there you go. So that's a look at the front classes here. Let's load some of these other classes. Let's go back and look at class 7. We saw the Honda truck had absolutely smoked everybody through the bottleneck, and it's kind of still the same way. I mean, look at this. So it can barely even fit them on the same page. Jeff Proctor is at mile 237. He is moving. Next car back is the 710 Mike Schaefer. He's at 181. So between 181 and 237, I mean, that's a 50-mile, almost 60-mile lead that they have in class 7. That was due to the bottleneck mostly. They were able to get through it somehow, and these other trucks were not. You can see Dan Shamley is still in a bottleneck at 176 there, moving 2 miles an hour, going very, very slow. 727, you know, this is the bottleneck area. Well, here, I'll show you the bottleneck. We just got to turn them on. Look at this. You guys want to talk about bottlenecks in Baja? How about this? So we have, I don't think this is a bottleneck. No, this isn't a bottleneck. These are the people that have just got through the bottleneck. This might be a small one right here. Let's see, zoom in. Yeah, look at this one. All right. So we have bottlenecks all over the place here, guys. Probably about 10 of them now. We have this one. We have Robbie Pierce looks to be in it, along with a 10 car, 2 10 cars, and a 1 car. So that one's at mile 183. Then if we come back a little ways, These guys, sorry, these guys are moving. Cody Parkhouse he's been broken for a while, but that's not a bottleneck. Come back a little more, and then I think this is where the big one is. Yeah, so this is, let's see, are these guys moving? These guys look like they're moving. There's no passing through this section either. So once you come out of the bottleneck, you're just going to follow whoever's in front of you all the way down this ridge. You're not getting by anybody here. So this is going to be the order that it's in. So here's the big one. This is the big one right here where Dan Shamley is. So you can see right behind him, the 218 is in the bottleneck. Looks like he's the lead car of the bottleneck, followed by the 3909, 3950, 1600, Valerie Clark. You have Wayne Matlock, Justin Ehrenberg. Then over here we have Kristen Matlock, who appeared to be trying to make her own way around everybody earlier, but now it looks like she might be stuck too. She's over here all by herself, so I don't know. Maybe that didn't work out so well trying to go around everybody. But you know, she tried, but it didn't work out. Looks like the 1047 tried to go around too. This is turning into a shit show down here, that's for sure. We have the 1680. We have all these cars they're just stopped everywhere here. We knew this was going to be a problem. It's gnarly. I can't explain to you guys. If you haven't been to Baja and you haven't been on these trails, it's really hard to explain what this trail is like. It's a single track with cliff on one side. You can't go up, cliff on another side. If you go down it, you're not getting out of there without a helicopter. It's just it's gnarly. So that's one bottleneck. Then where was the other one? Back here a little ways. Chelsea Magnus is stopped. Maybe another bottleneck there. The other one was back here, I think, yeah, so the other one looks like it's kind of cleared out. These cars are all kind of moving. 2 miles an hour, 0, 0. They're not moving. Everybody's just stopped everywhere here. 168. Yeah, this is a gnarly race. It's going to be a long day for a lot of these cars. So that's back there. So let's look at Class 10 and see who's actually leading now that we showed you guys the bottleneck. Sorry, I got a little off track there. All right, the 1006. All right, so Freddie Willard appears to be the lead Class 10 car right now, followed by the 1009, and that looks like they're running 1 and 2. So they are through the bottlenecks. They are coming down the mountain. They're just dropped into the wash. It's going to be easier. Right now they're sitting in the car and they're like, oh, thank God we are through that section because the worst is out of the way. So the 1006 is your lead Class 10 car. Look at the 1006 and 1009. They have 194 and 220. They have about almost a 25-mile gap on the other Class 10 cars between those two up front. So they got super lucky that somehow they were able to sneak through that bottleneck or around it. And honestly, even if you missed a VCP back there, you don't really care because you're going to get a, 10-minute penalty or 15-minute penalty for missing a VCP. Who cares? Because look at how far those other guys are behind you there. They're more than 10 or 15 minutes. These guys are an hour behind at this spot, So even if it's one of those things, if it comes down to it, and they're usually pretty good. They won't really put VCPs in bottleneck areas, but if they do, you don't care if you miss it at that point because you'll take your 10 minutes, your 15 minutes, and as long as you're moving, you'll more than make up for it just by being able to move. Now let's go look at the 1600 cars. So 1680 is in front of 1600. However, they're both just made it through the first bottleneck, and they're still in the bottleneck area. So anything can happen here. But that's 1 and 2, and then 1621 and 1642 are there. Now let's see. What else are you guys looking for? Is anyone? The 11 cars. Yeah, the Class 11 cars got to go through all this stuff too, which is gnarly because they're already really short on time, and then to get stuck in bottlenecks really hurts the Class 11 cars. They only get 20 hours just like everybody else does. So for them to lose time in these bottlenecks, it really hurts their chances of a finish. The 1196 Alex Gonzalez, they've been running up front all day. They are still up front. The 1111 running second. Now Blake Wilkie's going to get in that car over on the beach. He's going to take it over from Eric. They're running second. Then the 1145 is third. So we have 3 Class 11 cars that have a pretty good shot if they can get through these bottlenecks at making the time limit. Actually a really good shot because they're at mile 150. Got to go to like 460. It's been a little while. It'll be close, but hopefully we can get a finisher. That's what we want. We want to see a Class 11 car finish within the time thing. Bottleneck at 176. Yes, there is a ton of bottlenecks. Look at these cars. I mean, this is cars everywhere. So 176 is probably, where is that? Right here. Yeah, 176, definitely a bottleneck right here. This is a bottleneck right here, 176. Kristen Matlock. Oh, look, Kristen Matlock's moving again. She's coming back towards the course. So that's good. She's getting back on course. These guys, some of these guys are moving. All right. So someone says, is there many places for Andy to pass Luke? Yes and no. So yes, there is a few spots. However, I guarantee you that Luke pretty much knows every line that Andy knows through here. So I don't think that Andy's really going to be able to get him on a better line. It's just going to have to come down to Andy wanting to push his truck harder. He's going to have to take some risks. You can see he's a mile, less than a mile. He's a half a mile behind Luke right now. And when they both update at the same time, which did they just do that? Let's see, 1 minute, 1 minute. I mean, they're literally at the same mile mark here, and they both just updated at the same time. So, yeah, it's going to be really hard for Andy to get around Luke. It's not like Luke's going to pull over for him, that's for sure. Andy's going to have to earn that pass. Now, once you get, let's see, where are they coming at now? They're going to start making their way up from the coast. This goes in a mountain range right here. So this gets a little hairy through here. It's not too bad. And then you drop down and you come into Santa Tomas right here. Now, this is a different area than where you normally come into Santa Tomas. Sorry, this isn't Santa Tomas yet. Santa Tomas is way up here. This area where you get on the highway is pretty easy right here. And then you're on the highway for a while. And then you start going up a different direction to Santa Tomas than where we normally do. So normally we would stay on the beach right about where Andy and Luke are right here. Normally you'd come up the beach and go through Orindia, and you'd come up here and then you'd cut in right this way. So this is a little bit different course this year than what most are normally used to. It's easy, and then you do have a long highway section right here. It's easier than going this way for some of it. This new section right here where you drop off, I don't know if this has been ran before. Maybe some of you guys might know. But where you drop off the Highway 1 right here at mile 380, 379, this is pretty new. It's not hard. It's almost like an access road to local ranches. It does go up and get a little bit tight and twisty on the side of a couple cliffs, but there's nothing technical in there rock-wise or anything. It's not rough. It's actually smooth. So the all-wheel drives will be hauling ass through here. The biggest thing you have to worry about through this next section up here is putting it off the side of the road. You don't want to slide off the side of the road because some of those hills you'll be down there a little ways. So yeah, this is a pretty cool new section right here coming into Santa Tomas. Someone says Lucas ran it. They ran in the 90s, so it's been a while. So you know, Andy and Luke probably don't have a lot of practice in this section prior to this race. So I don't think one of them is going to have the upper hand on the other through there. But I think that pretty much covers what's going on in the race right now. Do you guys have any other questions before we sign off? Let me know. Anything? Let's see. Get some more updates. I'm trying to get a good time split for you guys. The last we knew, he was 30 seconds behind him. But honestly, the way these trackers are updating right here, I think it's closer than 30. I mean, 3 minutes and 3 minutes, but that's the same. So we'll try to get a. I know for sure when they get on the highway right here at 131, we will have. We should have some phone service there. So I'm sure some guys will send us some pictures and get us some split times there. So we'll let you guys know as soon as we get those. Class 7, I just checked on Class 7 for you guys. The Proctor truck is way out front. They're just smoking everybody. We can show you again real quick. I mean, Proctor's right here at mile 243, and he has about a 70-mile lead, 60-mile lead or something on the next car. So Class 7 is definitely not much of a race right now. It's the Proctor show right now. Gap to third in Trophy Truck, well, you can see it right here. So the leaders are at 360. Third place is at 350, call it. So 10-mile lead about for the first two over the next two in the Trophy Truck. How far apart did they start? 1 minute. Yeah, so Andy started 1 minute behind Luke McMillan. So that is going to come into play here. Luke McMillan is going to finish, and then if Andy finishes within 1 minute, Andy's going to beat him on time. Bearing any penalties, of course. Missed VCPs, speeding penalties, any of that stuff. So, yeah, Luke needs to finish a minute in front of Andy. So, Andy's strategy at this point could honestly be just stay right with Luke. He doesn't have to pass him. If he sits in Luke's dust or right outside of his dust and he's within a minute, that's all he has to do, and he'll win. And he knows that, and Luke knows that too. So it's easier to be it's easier to be Andy McMillan in this position than it is Luke McMillan, because he can see where Luke is in front of him the whole time. Luke can't necessarily see behind him to know how big of a gap he has. So advantage Andy McMillan right now as far as that. Let's see. Somebody said, oh, somebody just gave me let's see. We got a Fink race update for you guys. I'll read it out real quick. Thanks to David here. Toby Price, 1 hour 39 minutes. Josh Howell, 1 hour 41 minutes. Bo Robinson, 1 hour 41 minutes and 51 seconds. So very close. Congratulations, Toby Price. Little side update for you guys here. He has finished first over in the Fink race in Australia. Josh Howell second. Bo Robinson third. They're all within 2 minutes of each other. So really close racing all the way across the world, as far away as you can get in Australia for Toby Price. Good job for him. Thanks for that update. We bring you guys all the updates here on Fishgistics. Is Bryce out? Yes, Bryce is out. Bryce Menzies is out of the race. He had a fuel pickup issue. He is out right here at mile 307. They're done. They're not racing anymore today. Cameron Steele, done. Motor out of the race. They're not racing anymore today. All right. Well, that'll do it for this hour update. We'll see you guys back here at 6 o'clock. And I'm still thinking, let's see, someone asked about a finishing time. They have 104 miles to go. I think it's going to be about an hour and a half probably till the finish still. So it's going to be a little longer than we thought. We thought 6:30. I'm going to say closer to 7. Between 6:30 and 7 is my guess now. So one hour, and they're not going to do it in an hour because they would have to average 100 miles an hour. It's going to be more than that. It's going to be closer to 7. So we're going to go probably 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, I would assume we'll be finishing here. So we'll go live at 6. And then we'll see how everything's going, and we will go live again for the finish. So if it's going to be a little bit before 7, we'll go live for that too, but we're not going to make you guys miss that because we're going to get our stopwatches out. Hopefully Score has their finish line camera up, which they normally do, and then we can get a good split, and we can figure out who wins here. All right, it's going to be Luke McMillan or Andy McMillan right now. We'll see you guys back here in just about 40 minutes, 35 minutes for the next Fishgistics update.
Following Rigid's legendary quality, the all-new Adapt E-Series has a seamless beam transition and an integrated active power management system that will constantly monitor your vehicle's battery state. The Adapt E-Series will make adjustments to the light output, maximizing performance based on the vehicle's capacity. Designed with 3 unique optic combinations for close-range, slow-speed driving, moderate speeds, and long-range, high-speed driving, a seamless beam transition is achieved through an internal GPS, automatically adjusting optic zones and beam paths based upon the vehicle's speed. The Adapt E-Series, the next evolution in off-road lighting.
There's nothing wrong with looking good, but when riding is your passion, it's performance that matters. Like having the off-road's most advanced suspension. It monitors input from driver and machine 200 times every second and automatically adjusts each shock to flatten corners, soak up the bumps, and handle the hazards. Confidence and control for those who live to ride. Polaris, think outside.